done. And little
Sometimes
did I
you have to
know,
jump the
it was
fence.
like into another fenced in area. And I was like, great, how am I going to get through here? Well, there was a guy that had a big old jar like this, like just humongous, like those giant pickle jars full of Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah,
And he
Flintstone
spilled them, and
vitamins.
security
Yeah.
was all over him, and there
Mm.
was dogs everywhere. I didn't know what was going on, so I jumped the
Ecstasy,
fence.
man. It's ecstasy, bro.
Yep. And later learned what that was. At the time, I didn't know,
I
but I
listen.
jumped the
I
fence.
was I was in my early 20s during the original techno movement, and
Oh
I
man.
did a lot of ecstasy as a young guy, and
Oh yeah.
that shit fucks you up. Don't don't do it.
I won't.
Good, don't.
I won't. I try. I tend. This is my philosophy on that. I tend to stay away from things that I know I'll like too much.
That's a very good philosophy.
It's just not a good idea. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably
It
is.
definitely is.
But anyway, I jumped this fence and I'm in another fenced in area, sitting in this tall grass. It's got to be like 2 feet tall. But at the bottom of the hill, there's security like patrolling this orange security fence. They can't see me. But then G-Eazy is on stage, and I'm watching him from this grass live, right? And I hear a dog bark like close by, and I was like, all right, I'm out of here. So I started running, and I stopped, and there was a white Nike hat in mint condition just right there. So I picked
What
it
the
up,
fuck?
and I just kept running, right?
What the
And so I
fuck?
get to another fence, and I swear I jumped over that thing in 2 steps. Like I was over it. It had to be like 5, 6 feet tall, but I was over that fence. And I landed because I was running, man. I was running blind. And I jumped the fence into the line of all these people that
Holy
are
shit!
waiting to get into Zed's Dead after, the G-Eazy concert I was just watching.
What the fuck?
And so I land literally on top of this, like, you know, wook looking guy. Like
Yeah.
he looked like he was supposed to be at the festival. And I landed on him, and he helps me up. I'd never experienced the culture before. He helps me up. He's like, "Bro, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude. I started crying, like literally broke down. And I was like, I just really, really want to go see Zed's Dead. Like it would make my whole life if I could go see Zed's Dead." And they're like, all right, bro, we got you. And they literally surrounded me and did not let security check to see if I had a band at all.
Wow.
And they snuck me into that show because I just wanted to so bad. And and they dropped Hadouken right in front of me. And that second time or that third time it drops, where it's like dun, 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 and then it stops and it just you know and it just keeps going. And it was so hot. Like I said, it was so hot, and it was like 100 degrees out. It started sprinkling cold rain, and the way the lights were flashing and the way the sound was going, just the whole production of the show itself. I watched the rain stand still, sober as the day is long. And that was amazing. I was like, how, if you can do that to me, what can you do for the world? Like, what?
Man,
What?
this is
And I
like a
was just
fucking. You
like,
had a moment, man.
and
You were
I
having a
came
moment.
home, and I came home, and it was around Christmas time and my birthday, like October. And I asked my girlfriend, will you get me a DJ board, like a mixer, for Christmas or whatever? I don't care when we can get it, but will you please buy me one so I can do this? And she said, no. And I was crushed. And I was like, and then I said, please. And she said, okay. It didn't work out for other reasons, but you know, at least she got me started with
Yeah.
this. So, and that's like, I'm a big spiritualist, and I feel like that's just part of what was supposed to happen. Like even here now with you, this is part of what was supposed to happen
Right on.
because I'm paying attention to what is happening.
That's
You
awesome.
know, and like that's pretty much how this whole like musical journey has been. Like I sucked, man. I really sucked. Honestly, the first mixes I ever made were on a cell phone with a app called EDJing Pro 5. It was like $5, man. And I was on there, and the first mixes I ever put on YouTube were from a cell phone, and it blew up.
Really?
It blew up. I was, yeah, dude. I had like 700 views and like absolutely no subscribers, and I was just like, what? From a phone? So and then I got this board, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna put a mix out with this board, and it was a Walmart board, man. It was that sound card probably came from a 1990s like Windows desktop.
Where
I
there's
don't
a
know,
will. Hey,
man. It
man, you
was
made it
awful.
happen.
You
Yeah.
turn that filter even a little bit, and it sounded like somebody was breaking glass right next to you. It was just terrible. It was like,
It's amazing though, because it all came from like this moment that you had that was
yeah,
just the right time, and you know, it was almost just like you felt so connected to it that you had to do it, and
yeah.
that's fucking
And that's
awesome.
that's what it's been for me, really. Even now, it's like, other people when they get gigs, they're like, oh, whatever. This is just my job. For me, it's an opportunity to like I don't care if I'm doing it by myself in my room, or if I'm out at a bar, or if I'm outside in my garage. I don't care where I am.
Hmm.
I'm going to throw down like I'm on a festival stage because that's where I want to be. Like,
That's awesome.
I want to be a festival DJ, not because I want the clout or the fame or the money, but because I want to be out there proving that music can affect people in this way, and it can improve your lives. And it's the music that you listen to ultimately affects your mood.
Man,
So
listen,
if you're
you
listening,
you have such an amazing attitude, dude.
I
You listen.
it's a
I talk to a
philosophy.
lot of people, and um, I don't. You're much different, man. Like you have a
Yeah,
great fucking attitude about this. Like I've never I've never talked to anybody besides myself who feels so affected by music. And
it's
this is the kind of stuff like I started this show for, was to meet people like this, that like you really internalize it and then try to like
it's
yeah,
real.
and you
Like
want to put
it
it out to, and you
has
want to put it back out
an
into the world.
emotion.
It's amazing. That's great, man. I just had to stop you and tell you, man, your attitude is, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's very
And
infectious.
I really want that to be what I'm known for. Like I don't care what kind of music it is. It has a breath and it has life, and a lot of people take that for granted. Like that's why I don't like mumble rap. That's why
Mhm.
I hate it. I don't care. Like you're not an artist. An artist paints. That's not a piece of art. Like that's not something you would be proud of. That's not something you would play when your baby is sleeping. That is not it. I mean, granted, what I mix, not something you want to play when your baby's sleeping either. But you know, even this kind of music, even like I honestly was introduced into a lot of metal, like Hollywood Undead,
Mhm.
Whitechapel, Five Finger
Whitechapel.
Death Punch, which is
Yeah, it's all right.
generic at this point.
They
I
have
went
some
to an All
moments.
That Remains concert. I think it was the album before the one they dropped now, and it was amazing, man. Like I never, I used to have a stereotype about people who listen to metal or like rock or went to like punk shows and stuff like that, and I was like, see, yep, and and I used to be like, oh man, I'll never hang out with them. Those guys are scary.
No way.
I went to a metal concert, and oh my lord, you jump into that mosh and you're like, yeah, let's kill each other,
Oh
but
yeah.
not really.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Everybody.
Not really. It's
When you
not that
when you get
serious.
into a
I'm
pit,
liking
most of the
backflips
time,
over here.
yeah, most of the time, people in a pit, they'll help you. If you fall down,
Yeah. If you
most of the
fall down,
time,
they will help you up. That's
m-
just proper etiquette.
most of the time.
Hopefully. I mean, I
Hopefully.
went to Knotfest. That was scary. There was piss everywhere. But hey, man, if you're that hard, die hard of a fan, you go for it. But please keep your friends in your circle.
For sure. Absolutely, I
Like
agree.
we're here to have a good time.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so back to music a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I was saying. But like for me, music, you know, okay, so getting real here.
Okay.
Um, about I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not really sure how long it's been, but my I was in foster care and I got really close to my foster brother, and he ended up dying of his own hand,
Sorry.
and that was really hard for me to get through. And I'm sorry if I get
No,
emotional,
that's
but
fine, man.
I took music and I lived in it for like a year, and I just mixed every time I was sad, every time I was lonely. I would mix those songs because I knew he liked Skrillex when we were growing up, and this is something that I need to do for him as well as for me and everyone else because he was a great person. And you know,
That's
I
amazing.
just I want to be remembered for more than just what's going on right now. Like there's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now and we need some direction. So why not make that direction love?
You
Whether
know,
it, you know, I don't care what it is, but if I can affect people in that way to love one another through music, if I can be that symbol for them, then I will because the world needs it right now. The world needs that love because I'm so sick of listening to what's on the
yeah.
news and I'm just done.
You know,
I
you
don't care what's going on in the world right now. All I care about is where we're going next as
absolutely.
a species. And if I can do that with music and I can, you know, life is short, man. I'm gonna make a freaking crater in this world before I'm gone. Like,
I you said earlier about like being spiritual and like things happen like even you coming on here for a reason.
mm,
And I had not a lot. No, I don't think anybody besides maybe a handful of people know this that listen to the show. But my little brother was actually killed about 2 weeks ago, and I haven't really talked to too many people about it. And I don't know. I can relate to you, man, and I'm really sorry because I know that feeling, and that sucks.
mm.
And but that was
And it's
it was beautiful what you
yeah,
said though. It really was. It was amazing.
you know, and I just that's what that moment was for me because at that point he had passed away, and that's one of the reasons that I was, or actually I knew at that point that there was something wrong because he was sending me Snapchats of him with a bottle of tequila in his truck driving around. And you know, I was immature back then and I didn't, you know, like growing up that's just something he would do. He would get drunk a lot and that's just what he did, and I never thought anything of it. So if he was in his truck, I just, you know, assumed that it wasn't really that bad, but he really wanted to see me and this, that, and the other thing. And I don't really know what happened, but you know, I
Yeah.
should have known that something was wrong. And I can't live my whole life thinking that it was my fault because honestly, I haven't been near him and you know since I left the foster home when I was 18.
Yeah.
So it was hard for me. And a lot of people, I don't know if it's just part of being in your 20s, but a lot of people have been taken from me,
It's a party
and
getting
I've
older.
just used music to really get through it.
Yeah.
And it's just something that, you know, it doesn't really distract me, but it, you know, the songs I listen to, I'm very particular. Like I'm a DJ, I'm very particular about the songs that I choose for my sets because music tells a story. And DJing, real DJing, this is a quote from Laidback Luke. He's been DJing techno, every kind of music there is for years. And he's considered to be the most technical DJ because he believes that real DJing is storytelling.
I agree.
And that's what these DJs do. And that's what I want to be. Like my DJ name is Insomnium. Yeah, there is actually a Dutch metal band. They're actually pretty cool. They're called Insomnium as well. I haven't really, you know, discussed the copyright or
Yeah,
whatever
but
of
that's
that,
crossing
but
genres. You know, like you're in a
but
different genre than they are.
yeah, and
So
they're in a whole different country too. I mean, I would
yeah.
love to be friends with them because
Look when they
any PR is good.
when they bridge the gap to the other countries, then you can worry about it.